If you're wondering why you're losing project after project, the average win rate for subcontractors is 1 in 11. In this video, I'm going to give you 4 strategies that I've found after working with over 50 subcontractors to increase their win rate to 1 in 4. By the end, you'll know how to close the deal on more projects. By now, you're tired of budgeting, bidding, losing, then getting ghosted. That's almost every general contractor today. And there's only 2 things you can do to get more projects. You bid more, or you win more. In my experience, you're doing one of 3 things. You're bidding projects off of a gut instinct, then adding some extra for just in case. You're losing bids to other subcontractors who you are sure are more expensive or less qualified. Or you are winning projects, but are losing your butt on them financially every time. These are telltale signs you have cracks in pillar number 2. Think back to the first time you were in charge of a project. You were probably afraid to make a bad reputation or get fired for overspending or wasting labor hours. But your executive gave you confidence that you had the skill to do it, and you could call any time if you weren't sure. The confidence you left with from that conversation is what made your first project so successful. Confidence is a project killer when it comes to winning and estimating work as well. In conversations leading up to a bid with the GC, your voice inflection tells them you're not sure. You're faking it till you make it. Or if you're overconfident and you turn into a price check number faster than any other way. You probably aren't confident in your numbers because you don't believe that your estimating ability is good enough for whatever reason. To improve your confidence, you don't have to do hundreds of estimates over decades either. You just need to use the data that you do get from your current projects in your next estimate. What areas did you do well? What areas did you spend too much? And continually sharpen your estimates to the number you need, not the number you think that they want. Smart general contractors don't go for the low bid. They go for confident subcontractors that know their number is fair and accurate, and the company has the capability to do the work, even if it's 20% above the low bid. But how do you know which GCs are even worth working with? Because most honestly suck. A civil contractor client of mine in South Carolina has it all figured out. He won't work with large general contractors that span regions, not because they don't have any projects that he likes, but because their processes make it impossible for a subcontractor to be successful. Josh, they want a safety meeting every single day for anyone who will be on site. They say it will be 15 minutes, but it's always over an hour. It's to do the same work we did yesterday, and no one else is even on site. It's difficult to confidently put a bid together for a contractor that has poorly documented time requirements for their company specific processes anyway. And on the flip side, most small subcontractors don't even have the capacity to remember to pay you on time, so you end up constantly wasting time chasing them. So, what my client does to vet companies is ask other trade contractors in his area their opinions on different general contractors. He told me it's a heck of a lot cheaper to spend a few hours asking around than to get locked into a year contract wasting hours a day on safety meetings you didn't know about at bid time. Next, after you find the right companies to target, you look at your bidding process. If you're relying on a gut feeling for how much a project should be, you may not realize it, but you're targeting numbers in your head and estimating them to prove it right. That can work, but you will get burned eventually. And let me explain. Projects are owner and general contractor specific. There are 100 ways to do the exact same thing and get the exact same outcome. Psychologically, we like to stick to the way we've always done things because it's proven to work for us. But the devil is in the details. Literally in the details on the drawings and in the specs. Clients specify exactly how they want their project installed, down to the means and methods. Here's an example. I was brought in to figure out a solution for current install conditions of communication piping that wasn't done to project plan or specs, but still achieved the same end result for as little as possible. The backstory that I found out is that the super didn't have time to read the drawings except for routing, because he was told he was just filling in for the company until a new superintendent was hired to run that job. He thought to himself, I always have to install one pipe at 24 inches below grade in Schedule 40 PVC for Comcast, so no big deal. But this owner wanted 7 pipes, 36 inches below grade, in either Schedule 80 PVC or concrete encased Schedule 40. The problem was, the parking lot was already paved at this point. Come to find out, the real reason the superintendent didn't read the drawings was the estimator used historical data to put a square foot number to it and handed it off to the project team in a way that led them to believe it was the same as the previous project for the same owner that somebody had just wrapped up. Not only did it cause a $350,000 problem that was getting more expensive every single day, but now, 5 years later, there's still a lawsuit going on. The owner, the general contractor, and the subs involved all hate each other. What I want you to take away from this is it's easy to get really behind on bidding schedules. So you just throw out a square foot number just to put something in and you'll figure it out later. But it's best practice to track your bids and do detailed takeoffs every single time. And before I get into the last but most important part of winning work, I need you to be selfish for a minute. Think back honestly. Why did you start your business? Was it more time with your wife and kids? More money to fish or ride your motorcycle? Or maybe you got tired of doing all the physical labor and the company you worked for wouldn't move you into the office. At the end of the day, you started a business for some personal reason, but you also assumed you would have a bigger and more consistent paycheck than working for someone else. It kills me to see so many subcontractor owners like you aren't paying themselves what they're worth if you did the same hours and the same work for your old company. You're working all day building, then all night bidding, just to find another project and keep it going. You're spending as much or more than the money that you're bringing in, leaving yourself just enough to get by. Normal people spend money on their hobbies, and business owners in construction have a way of spending their money on the business, making it a really, really expensive hobby. I've been guilty of it too. So my last word of advice is price in your own salary so you can afford to continue to pay yourself at or above what your last company did. You can keep working to fill in the gaps until you can hire people to take over different areas, but at least bring home some bacon while you're doing the work. And if you made it this far and you have gotten to winning consistent work, but you can't seem to be profitable, check out this next video.